How we doing, guys? This is going to be the first in our series of how to grow tobacco at home. Today we're just going to be covering starting your seeds, getting them ready to go outside. So our first step is going to be planting our seeds directly into the soil. You're going to need to get a container that's about 1.5 to 2 inches deep. I like these clear plastic fruit containers, such as you would get strawberries or raspberries from the grocery store. I like them because they have a lid that's reclosable. They're perforated on the top and bottom to let some air in, as well as let excess water out. So these are great options. They're free, cheap, very inexpensive. If you don't use something like this, whatever you use, just make sure you put some holes in the bottom to let the excess water out. That's very important. The light source that I like to use are these 4-foot shop lights. They sell them at Walmart for about 15 bucks. They're very inexpensive. They work great along with a cheap timer. These again, $3 to $5, not very much at all. That's going to be very important. For your light setting, once you get your plant started, I do 16 hours on. That's important. 16 on, 8 off. That's about the perfect light cycle that I have found for keeping your plants growing as much as possible. Very important. So we're just going to actually do some planting right now just to show you guys how I do it. The easiest way that I have found to distribute your seeds is going to be on a piece of thin folded cardboard or paper. I found cardboard to be preferable. I'm going to be planting staghorn seeds today. These are one of the 7 varieties that I sell currently. I'm going to have a link to that in the description to our eBay page and the seeds that we sell. But you're going to take your seed, just kind of dump some out onto the cardboard. I'm not being particular here. That's a lot more than I would need. And just give it a little tap as you go, and you just want to sprinkle them directly on the top of the soil. Do not bury the seed. It just needs to be sprinkled gently on the top. And I didn't mention, but this soil has been pre-moistened. I sprayed it down very well beforehand. That's plenty. Alright, another thing that's great to have when you're starting your seeds out is just a water bottle sprayer. These are about $2 at Walmart. Grab yourself one of those. After you put your seeds down, give them another quick mist. And that's it. We're going to close our lid up. Again, if you don't have a lid, put a piece of plastic wrap over the top. Leave a corner open. We don't want mold to develop, so we want there to be a little bit of airflow. And now the most important step after this is your temperature. This needs to be between 70 and 80 degrees. If it's not, your seeds aren't going to germinate. If it's too hot, if it's too cold, they're not going to germinate. Some places will tell you that you need to have light. You need to have these under light immediately. That is not true. As long as these have the right temperature and they're nice and moist, they will germinate. It varies depending on the variety. You want to start checking your container at about 4 days, and then every day after that. As soon as you start to see little flecks of white or green as your seeds start sprouting, they immediately need to get under the light. Don't set them up, wait a week, and then check them, because if they do sprout and you don't notice it, they will get what is called leggy. They'll grow up and they'll just be a little stem, and they'll keep going up and up and up trying to find light, and then you'll get these flimsy, fragile, little wobbly plants that are just no good. So as soon as you see those flecks of green and white, you need to get it under the light immediately. After about roughly 2 weeks after you start to see those flecks and you get it under the lamp, you're going to end up with something resembling this. This set I've had out for about 2 weeks under the lamp. We're getting some nice sized plants, which is great. And about this size, I'm going to give these guys another probably 3 days or so. But once you start seeing 2 decent sized leaves like this, they're good to go. And what we'll do is we'll select the nicest plants out of this set, however many I want, 10, 20, 30, whatever. And we'll break this down gently and pull these little plants out with their root systems. And from there, we're going to go to a solo cup. You can get peat cups and different things at your home and garden stores. I prefer the solo cups. Cheapest, easiest route. Again, write down the variety. If you're growing multiple varieties, it's always good to label your containers so you know what's what. I take a hot nail and punch a couple holes in the bottom of it for drainage. Again, fill it with potting soil. Put your little baby seedlings in there and set them back up under your light. I run about 8 or 10 of these guys. I think I average it's about 15 plants, 15 to 20 plants can fit under each light. So plan accordingly. If you're planning on growing 50 plants, you know, buy the according amount of lights. But that's basically it. As soon as your plants are under that lamp in this cup for about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how big they are when you transplant them, they'll be ready to go outside. And when we get to that step, we'll post another video. Thanks, guys.